Welcome to my channel, Healthcare 24. Subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon, and like the video.
Hi, this is Doreen. I'm here at Fusion Pilates in Asheville, and I've got a workshop coming up that talks about alignment, and talks about alignment coming from the Nutritious Movement Institute, because I'm a restorative exercise specialist, and we work on alignment, what the joint is really supposed to be aligned to do, as opposed to how we use our joints. And so right now I'm going to introduce you to how we line up the feet and why we line up the feet that way. So most of us tend to walk with a little bit of a turnout in our foot. Some of us make it come from the knee, some of us make it come from the hip, but in either case, the joints are not in an aligned place for walking. And the way that you can tell that is how much of a bunion do you or do you not have, and what kind of callus do you have on that big toe. Because if you're looking at my feet and they're slightly turned out, even just that much is a turnout, or even if I lined up the medial edges of my feet, the rest of the foot is still externally rotated. And you can see that if I place a straight edge along the outside edge of my foot and step away from that straight edge, that is pointing out to the side. So if my foot, if I take a step forward into walking, watching my back foot, as I lift the foot up, you can see how the big toe is pushed off to the side. So then when I roll off, I have rolled off the joint at the side position, not how the joint is aligned to work. So in restorative exercise, we take the outside edges of the feet and line those up straight. More specifically, we look at the point of the base of the fifth toe, where that little piece sticks out, and then where the ankle drops to the ground, right? So my ankle would drop down right about there, and I line up those 2 points on a straight edge. So now my foot is aligned straight. I have put the joints of the foot where they're supposed to be. If someone is pronated, where their foot falls in a lot, and you start to put those points into place, and then when we get to the upper leg, you can see how we start to lift the arch. But that's going a little too far for right now. If you want to look at the workshop, it talks about going up. But right now, I just want you to think about lining up the outside edges of your feet. When that happens, yes, people will tell you they look or feel pigeon-toed. Take the toes out of the equation, just look at the foot part. And yes, then when that happens, most of us have too much internal rotation of the thighs. When we bend the knees, it's going to take us into internal rotation. But that's too much for this little blurb right here. So we're going to talk about the outside edges lined up. Once you've got the outside edges lined up, I want you to take that into a calf stretch. So outside edge lined up, top of foot on a half dome, a rolled up towel, another prop, back of heel on the ground. Some of you might feel stretch already in this place. Don't take your opposite foot and step forward. Still thinking about keeping the outside edges lined up. Step forward to wherever you feel stretch happen in the gastroc and the soleus, down in the lower leg. And then try and relax the thighs, right? Try not to be too grippy in the thighs. Try not to be grippy in the shoulders. Let your buttocks relax. Just hang out here, and you should be feeling stretch happening in the back of the lower leg. Calf stretch with the feet in proper alignment starts to talk about how much movement we have or don't have when we walk. Because if I don't have the ability to keep my heel on the ground when I step forward, in this case I took my foot and brought the front foot up into dorsiflexion, but if I take the foot and bring the lower leg forward, that's the same kind of action. We need to be able to have dorsiflexion more than just at 90 degrees. So I need to be able to step forward, and that'll take us into hip extension. But right now, just focusing on the foot. Need the foot to be able to dorsiflex so I can keep my foot on the ground as long as possible so my step is long. If I don't have that ability, every time I step, I'm falling forward instead of stepping forward. And obviously, if I'm falling, the impact up the chain is a lot more brutal than it is if I step forward. So step one, when we start to think about alignment, we're going to line up the points of the foot, base or the head of the fifth metatarsal, along with where the ankle bone drops. If you've got someone who pronates a lot, the ankle bone will drop into the foot. That's fine to start. Up those 2 points. And in the next little blurb, I will give you how to rotate the thighs so that the knees don't bend.
Thanks for watching.